Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Amanda. I post personal finance and lifestyle videos. If you're interested in that type of content, please consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be notified every time I post a new video. And today we are going to be talking about my June no spend recap. It's actually going to be a pretty short and straightforward video. June was a very uneventful month. I am still not working. I still have not returned to work. My job has pushed back our reopen date about 3 or 4 times. So I'm just trying to focus on creating content for you guys. So with that said, let's just jump right into this June recap. So June was overall a great month. I ended up saving quite a bit of money by not spending money. I did my totals and I realized that everything was pretty low. If you actually look at my June total compared to the last 2 months, which were over $1,000, I only spent $329.03 this month, which was just insane. Now, that isn't my total amount of money that I spent overall. I still paid like my bills. I still paid for things, my necessities. One of the issues that I'm having with calculating my total is that it isn't a reflective actual total. And so I am working for you guys that our July recap will actually be a more inclusive and total actual budget recap. So from July on, for the rest of my no spend year, I'm going to be doing my no spend recaps with a lot more detail as to what I'm spending my money on. I'm going to be breaking it down into percentages, and I'm going to be putting down every expense I have, because I don't like just tracking like my eating out, my groceries, my pet stuff, things like that. I want to actually track my bills too. I want to see how much am I spending each month on my quote unquote needs, right? And then how much am I spending on my quote unquote wants? So with that said though, June was low for our total, right? $300 is literally $700 less than it was in May. Now, granted, June was my birthday month. I got treated quite a bit. My boyfriend and my best friend and a lot of my friends came together and did such a nice little celebration for me. We had so much fun. It was just like the greatest time to be around people that I love and people there to show me love for my birthday. We just played some games, we had some good food, we had some great laughs, and it was just such a good time. Overall, like the best. So with that though, I didn't have to spend a lot of personal money. I got treated a lot this month. So I ended up only having about 3 additional days outside of my no spend. It was food, of course, as it always is. I had allotted for my 4 days, but I did go over about 3 additional days. I would say we ate out a lot this month. If I wasn't buying, somebody else was buying, and I did spend like money on groceries, but even if you look at our grocery total, my grocery total was the lowest it's been since I've started. I don't know if y'all will be able to like see this, but groceries were $162. That is the lowest it's been. In February, it was $180. And then after that, it was like in the 200s all the way up to the 500s for some months. So that was really good. And then my pet totals were really low this month also. I actually ended up finding out a new hack for my pet stuff. I'm doing a little bit of a different food, and I found a cheap way to get it. It's actually cheaper than the food I used to buy. So that's been really good. My pet totals have actually been pretty low. I had one random expense this month, and that was actually a car bill for some maintenance. I have an older car and I love it. It's been really reliable and it hasn't really cost me any money to maintain other than my oil changes and state inspections and registration every year. It really hasn't cost me any money to own that car. I haven't but maybe one time have I gotten like tires and brakes done on that car. So that's been really nice, but I had noticed that my car wasn't cooling as much as I would like it to. The AC was kind of hot. So I took it in to see what was going on, and it turns out I did have a small leak in my compressor, and that runs about $1,100 for that job, but my technician actually didn't recommend that I get it fixed. He said that honestly he could recharge it and it would last me at least through the summer. And then by next year I plan on buying a new car anyway, or a newer car. So I was totally okay with that fix. It only came out to be $120. So that was totally worth it to me. I know a lot of you guys would like a little more detail on how I am getting some of my like totals and calculations. I know in my last video I posted about how I'm starting my new bucket saving system and sinking funds, that you guys wanted to know a little bit more about how I found my calculations on that spreadsheet I was doing, and I'm gonna make an entire video about that spreadsheet. So when I go ahead and deposit my second round of money into my buckets for my sinking funds, I'm gonna do a video so I can show you guys how that chart works, how I got the calculations, and why I made it, and how it's going to be useful when I deposit every month into that account. So look forward for that. So for my credit cards this month, I was able to pay down quite a bit. I actually paid off 3 of my credit cards down to a 0 balance. So my Target card, my Credit One, and my Capital One all have 0 balances right now, and that is super exciting. I also have I'm down to about $1,600 between the other 2 cards total in my consumer credit card debt. So that is a really big accomplishment. I'm super excited that I am just chipping away at paying down those credit cards, and I'm just really excited to have them all as close to 0 as they can be. So yeah, it feels good. I am at now about 35% credit card utilization. Hopefully when my credit refreshes after paying everything down, it'll bring me down to less than the 35%. The goal is to be under 30%, which is considered good credit card utilization, and will probably significantly increase my credit score. With all of that, I also hit another huge milestone this month. I actually hit the 700 club for my credit score. So currently, according to Credit Karma, my credit score is 714. If I look at my FICO credit score, it actually is lower. It's about 670 something. So I don't super know which one to go off of, but overall, it was still exciting to see that my score in some sort of shape, whether it just takes into account the 2 credit bureaus or not, was over 700. And so yeah, that was just like a huge win. It really makes me feel like I am on the right track and I'm doing the right things to really help better my financial situation. So my takeaway for today's video is actually going to be revolving a little bit around the coronavirus and how it's impacted a lot of people's lives. So in general, something I've noticed when I'm talking to a lot of my friends or a lot of acquaintances, I'm hearing that a lot of people say coronavirus has kind of made them go crazy. They felt a little depressed. They felt like they reverted back into those unhealthy habits, whether it be through eating or drinking or excessive TV watching or just binge scrolling through social media. And it's kind of taking a toll on their mental health. And something that I've noticed is that I feel like a lot of people don't have hobbies. I see so many people say like, wow, I didn't realize my hobbies were going shopping and out to eat. And it's just true. As a society, that is a hobby for a lot of people. It is definitely a hobby of mine, but it isn't like something that I revolve my week and my day and my life around. It's something I do casually. We go shopping or we go out to eat, but for the most part, especially being on a no spend, I find hobbies to occupy my time that are more like self-fulfilling and something I can do at home. So that includes things like puzzles, or if I am watching TV, I'm watching something that's like interesting. I'm watching documentaries. I'm watching some sort of like eye-opening, enlightening show. I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, so it's a lot of like learning how to do things or learning how to be better or mental health or motivation, things like that. And I like to do my yard work. I love to garden. I love to be out there in the fresh air and the sun and having my hands in the dirt and watching my flowers grow, my crops grow. I'm loving the gym. The gym's been open, so that's been nice. I've been going back there and doing that, and that's just so good for our body and our mental health. But I just noticed that it seems like a lot of people don't have hobbies like that, and it makes me so sad. So I really wanted today's takeaway to just be a little bit of a reminder that what we spend our time with and the things that we consume and the things that we allow to enter our bodies and our brains and our senses are the things that we're going to become. And so if you don't have time to be able to be quiet and reflect and to do something that provides you just so much fulfillment and happiness, you're going to struggle a lot when there are times of of quiet, when there are times of isolation, when there are times like a pandemic that's requiring you to stay home and you don't have hobbies or things to fill your time other than just moseying around the house and scrolling on social media and binge watching TV, you are going to find yourself in a depressed state. And that just goes for any time in life, not just during a pandemic. We want to find things that are going to fulfill us and make us happy. And so find a hobby, find something that brings you joy. Find something that is yours, that when you do it, you love it. It just is so relaxing. It's so nice. It's just your thing that you can do to recenter and recalm and to keep those anxious and depressive thoughts away. Personally, for me, some of my hobbies that I do to really keep my brain in a healthy space and to stay positive are things like, I love being in nature. So anytime that I can go on a hike, if I can drive up to the mountains, that's like the go-to. That is always the like reset, the fresh, completely like clear all. But if I can't go to the mountains, I'll try to do a local trail, or I'll walk down to the beach and I'll just like walk around the beach. Any sort of outdoor activity. So that includes like my gardening. I love to tend to my flowers and go talk to them. I'll touch them. I love to see when my crops are growing. I like to water them. And that's always just really fulfilling. One thing that I do when we do like a beach day is I always bring a book. I really try to stay off of my phone when I'm at a place like the beach. There's just something so serene about being at the beach and in the sand and where the water meets the sand and seeing the vastness of the ocean in front of you, that I love to just have a good book in front of me. I love to divulge myself into another story. And typically I read a lot of books about like self-help and mental development and psychology, but I do read fictions like novels and stories along those lines as well. So that's a good tip for me that I do. Another thing I like to do is eat well. I know I have a friend who her mental state really relies on her diet, and when she doesn't eat a very specific way, she mentally struggles so much. And so I know I'm the same way. I know that when I eat clean and I eat healthier foods and I really try to limit like my fried foods and my sweets, I really feel so much better. I physically all over my body feel amazing. And so diet and cooking can be something that's really relaxing. When I really need to, I will break out a puzzle, and it takes some time, but it is something that I'll stop and I'll sit down and I will do for 20 or 30 minutes, or sometimes an hour or two, as long as I need to be distracted from whatever it is that's around me. And so that's always really nice. Another thing I really like to do is podcasts. I'm not a huge music listener. I don't listen to a lot of music much. When I'm in my car, I typically listen to my podcasts, and I listen to a lot of educational podcasts and inspirational podcasts, and those are really fulfilling to me as well. So find your happy. Find your craft, your hobby, your thing that just brings you joy. I'm a firm believer that it's really hard to be in relationships, whether they're intimate, physical relationships with a partner, or they are friendships, or relationships you've had your entire life, like with your family. It's hard to be in those types of relationships and be healthy in those relationships and feel fulfilled and whole from those relationships when you don't have fulfillment within yourself. So find your happy, find your thing that when the time is quiet and when you're on your own and you're alone, you are able to do things that actually fill you up, that fill your tank up, so that you can then go into your relationships with a full tank and you can pour into them because you're full and you can fill them up now. And then when the time comes and you need to refill, you can step away, take some time and fill yourself up. So that's putting your nose in a book, or listening to a podcast, or watching an inspirational YouTube video, or cooking a good meal, or getting out and planting a flower in your garden, or going for a walk, whatever it is, you can fill your tank up. Now you're refreshed, and now you can go back and help pour a little into this relationship. I hope that you guys are having a really great month. I hope that the summer is going super well for you. I hope that everyone is staying on track with all their budgeting. I want to send lots of encouragement to everyone who's embarking on a no spend challenge for the month of July, or if you just finished one for the month of June, great job. It is super rewarding and I wish you the best of luck. Also, don't be too hard on yourself if you slip up a little bit, because that's just part of the challenge. If overall you did what you were supposed to do, then you won. But if you slip up a couple times here and there, don't beat yourself up about it. It's okay. You're doing a great job. You're taking the steps necessary to get yourself closer to where you financially want to be. So kudos to you. Don't be too hard on yourself. All right, guys, thanks again so much for tuning in and watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. Click that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. And don't forget to smash, destroy, hit that like button. It really helps out my channel and helps out the YouTube algorithm. Again, if you have any content you'd like to see from me, put that also in the comments below because that really helps my channel to grow as well. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.